There we go. All right, audio's back up. Is it now? Can you hear us, guys? I don't know if you guys can hear us. So let us know in the chat if you guys can hear us, because we are back now. And I haven't fixed Ralph's lighting. Did that help? No. Why does your lighting suck, dude? That doesn't make any sense.
Dark complected.
Yeah, but that's true, because everybody else we've had there is usually very, very very, very pale white. So getting that it's not like best. Can you guys hear us or not? Let us know in the chat. So this is our practice session right now. Of course, take 2, baby ham and serious eggers. Progress 7-Eleven pizza is allowed. 7-Eleven pizza is not allowed, first of all, by the way. And thank you, Georgian Gentry, for the peanuts that you gave us down there in Alabama. Alabama was canceled. We couldn't even go to Alabama. It was Georgia. Look up. Now see, it looks like you're all out of focus again. Let's see. There you go. Not quite. Almost. There it is. Okay. All right. I'm gonna try to fix that lighting one more time, just because you're way too dark. You're way too dark. Usually the problem is Jimmy's way too bright, but now you're way too dark. So I don't know what's going on here. So just give us 1 sec. Let me try it. Ralph has mood lighting. He just needs a violin and spaghetti. That's good. Exactly. That's perfect there. So Ralph, you entertain everybody while I fix your lighting. No pressure.
The audio is too low.
The audio's too low?
Yep.
I can turn that up. Is Ralph's lighting a little bit better now?
Yeah, it's way better now.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, good. That's what Ralph said anyway. Audio is too low. All right, so I... here. Is everything okay? Can you guys hear us? He's in the shadows. He's back a little bit now. Can you guys hear us? Because I just double checked and it does not, it's very staticky. Yeah. All right, I'm going to, I might just have to start everything over again because it doesn't seem like this is working at all. I don't think anyone can hear us. Now nothing. Nothing? It's coming through on here, but It says. There we go.
Got it.
There we go. Okay. Nothing. It's coming through on here. Oh man. There we go. This is the second night in a row that it's done this to us. Now we're good. Live stream probs. Can you guys hear us now? Because I'm hearing us now. I think that we're good, but I want to double check before I make any other steps. Before I take any other steps. It looks like we're good though. I think we're legit now.
I think we're good.
Are we legit, Ralph, or what? This is the second night in a row that it's done. This happens a lot, you know. But you know what? It's technical difficulties that I have problems with. All right, good. All right, everybody hear us? Everybody good? Everything good? Everybody in the clear now? I think we will. I think I'm gonna double check this one more time just to see, and then we're good to go. We're off and running. We're ready to rock and roll with this. There we go. Sounds good. Ralph, can you talk a little bit?
Hello.
All right. Yep. You're coming in on there too. So, hey guys, welcome back to the Joradne live stream that we're going to be doing every day of the week. Not on the weekends though, because we'll be traveling on the weekends because we'll either have wrestling or we'll have Went for a Walk, Got Lost episodes that we have to record because we like to stay busy around these parts of the woods. But how are you doing, Ralphie? I haven't seen you in, like a while. Probably a day, 24 hours almost.
I'm just catching up on some sleep from the road trip.
Yeah. I'm still catching up on sleep from the road trip. How are you catching up on sleep? What the hell do you mean? No. Now, I know they don't know, but I know.
It was rough.
It was
rough for me.
What was rough about the trip, Ralph? What was rough on you? About this long road trip. Well, how many hours did we have? 15 hours one way? 30, so that was like 30 hours?
30 total, yeah.
30, probably more than 30 total because, there was traffic and we had to take detours and there was all kinds of stuff. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? I thought that you just fell asleep sometimes and then you'd wake up and you'd be like, oh, man, we got an hour to go. Dang, Ron, you did a good job, man. Cool, I'll cover the rest. It's like 1 hour. He's got 1 hour to go. Hey, that's what happens when you go traveling with your little brother. Sometimes they got to sleep.
both times.
What's up, Rick? How are you doing, my brothers? We got Shy here. We got Lori here. We're only missing Amora. If Amora could come in here and jump in at a certain time, we'd be good. But I know this is a lot later than normal. Bernie said, what was rough? Hour 6 of his sleep or hour 12 of his sleep or hour 22 of his sleep? I think Bernie figured you out. Bernie figured you out before we even told the stories. And Shamala said, really? You guys were in the car for 15 hours? Way more than 15 hours. Way more than 15 hours. And you know what? I did it to myself. I had the option to fly. But I was like, you know what? It'll be cool, man. Road trip, Yeah. Road trips are always fun, right? I mean, you know what, though? They are fun because we have stories.
Yeah,
we have stories. So, of course, yeah. Road trips are badass. They're always fun. I love road trips. Road trips, that's why I wanted to be a professional wrestler. It wasn't because of wrestling was badass. It was because they're on the road all the time. They're always driving. That sounds cool. I want to just sit in a box for hours just doing this, not thinking about anything, Hey, what's up, Crowder Jr.? How are you, brother? Good to see you. Oh, I'm glad that you joined us in Barnesville, man. It was good to see you on Sunday. How are you? How's everything going? Yeah, Shamala, you have to double 15 hours, though. We were in the car for over 30-something hours. And it was, hey, man, that's wrestling road trips. Just like Bernie said. Bernie said that wrestling road trips they can be epic, and they are epic.
Epic.
They definitely are epic. That's the best explanation that you can have. And Shamala said, here we go. You're going to be interested in this one. This is going to be a funny one for you. She said, but 15 hours is such a pain in the ass. The max I drove is just 6 hours. 6 hours doesn't seem like that's nothing for us, dude. That's that's a couple podcasts and we're gone. Yeah, we're good to go.
That's a close eye.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. That's the main thing. So
I had an idea right here. I know you have work in the morning, Ralph.
No.
No work in the morning?
No.
Oh, okay, so we're not in a rush. All right, cool. Never mind, guys. I was about to say we have to rush a little bit because old Ralphie Poo has to go to work tomorrow, and he has to get up at 4:30 a.m. when he does have work. But since old Ralphie Poo doesn't have work, and he likes to go by Ralphie Poo, so call him Ralphie Poo. Darnell, what's up, brother? How are you, man? I'm glad to see that you were joining us. And we're about to get started going over a little bit of road trip stories that we had over the weekend. And, you know, road trip stories are always fun. Some of my favorite road trip stories are from the old school days. I love reading books about like the old school wrestlers. I'm a wrestling nerd. You know, like you've known me all your life. And you've always known that I've always went crazy for, like, you know, wrestling videos and wrestling. Like, I would always be reading wrestling books, and, you know, like half of my bookshelf over there is wrestling books, and, you know, it's always like that. Wrestling has just been one of the things for me. What I really love now is reading the old school stories of what some of the old school guys back in the day would do. Like some of their like road trip stories. Like one of my favorite books, Luthez, Hooker. It's called Hooker because back in the day, they would not a hooker as in a prostitute, a hooker as in they would hook you in a wrestling move and they would make you tap. They would hurt you. They would hurt you for real because they were mean guys back then, and you had to be a tough person to be able to get into the business. Shama. So real quick before I get back to the explanation of what I was about to go on, Shamala said, Ralphie Poo or Ralphie Poop?
Same thing. You know?
Same thing, Shamala. I said Ralphie Poo, but if you want to go Ralphie Poop, get it. Crowder said, had a great time in Barnesville. Where did you drive from? Crowder, we are from Baltimore. So we're driving all the way down there to entertain you from Baltimore, which is it's actually like that's a lie. We did a 15-hour drive because we went to Defuniak, which is our hometown. Right. That goes into the road trip story, though, so we're not quite there yet. So we'll go into that explanation in a minute. And so then, and Bernie said, but we're coming from Baltimore, and Baltimore to Barnesville is about 11, 12 hours, something like that. And Bernie said, Rooty Poo. Oh, no. Yep. He's breaking out the rock quotes. Roofy Poo, Rudy Poo. Oh, wait, Ralphie Poo. Got it. Shred, Shed, Snowmageddon. Yeah, that's pretty much. Snowmageddon. It is Snowmageddon now. I mean, what are we supposed to have, like 18 inches of snow now? Yep. And I know that Lori and Rick and our Massachusetts people, and Laura, whenever she can make it, you guys know about, like, you guys are about to get hit really hard as well. So you guys are about to deal with a lot of the snow. And I just talked to one of my friends that live in southern Maryland. No snow. Zero snow in southern Maryland. Yep. Ain't it funny how it's just, it's like, come on, guys. Come on. But anyway, like, onward to the traveling stories, or the stories that I love. I was about to talk a little bit about some of my favorite books, like Luthez Hooker is one that I would recommend if you're a professional wrestling fan. If you're into professional wrestling and you like that type of stuff, I would recommend Hooker because it explains a lot about, like, the very beginning of professional wrestling and how that business grew into what it is today. And how, like, a lot of it came from, I mean, it came from circuses. It came from, like, sideshow acts. And, like, you had your circuses and stuff, and you had professional wrestling as its own thing there within the circuses and the carnivals and those types of things. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, like, some promoters were like, you know what, we could just do a show of just professional wrestling and probably draw enough people. Maybe not as much as a carnival, but then, like, you don't have as much overhead as a carnival either. There's not that much overhead in professional wrestling, but then again, there kind of is. Right. You know, you have to deliver the ring, and you have to have that type of stuff there. And I'm sorry, guys. It looks like our stream went down. I don't know if we went down completely or not. Are you
I'm still on? Yeah.
You're still on? Mine went down on here, but I think that I'm still... Nope. We're still good on YouTube, and you're still good on. Are you on Facebook? You're still good. Yep. Huh. That's interesting. So I don't have. Maybe I just have to refresh it, and we're still good to go. No, it looks like we're still good to go. Yeah, we're still good here. It's just messing up on my laptop for some reason. I would think my laptop would be the one that wouldn't be messing up, but you can't win them all sometimes. So some of my favorite stories, like back with the Luthez book from Hooker, was they'd be traveling down the roads, and they would see like a deer. You know what they would do when they see the deer?
What would they do to the
like
deer?
sometimes like the deer would be like running with them. I guess back in the day, deer would just see like headlights and they would run with the cars.
Yeah.
But they'd be running with the cars and they'd see it and they'd veer the car over and hit the deer.
What?
Yeah, they'd hit the deer and then clean it, bring it in, and then they'd be like, "Hey, we got food." Like this car, but they would use their car and they fucking ram a deer and then be like, "Oh, well, we got some food for the next couple weeks. We're good to go." It's like, man, like back in the 1950s, people did not fuck around, dude. Like Luthez and Buddy Rogers and Gorgeous George and all those legendary guys who created professional wrestling and turned professional wrestling into the business that it is today, because previous to those guys, it wasn't the most entertaining thing to watch. It was closer to like what real professional wrestling is. So like the matches would take like a year. It would take an hour for them to get through one match. And that's not the most exciting thing whenever people go in and they know that they got like a 1 hour match. Even though like a lot of people like the 1 hour matches, the style wasn't as interesting as it was back then. And I'm going to go back. Oh, my chats isn't working as well on here, so I'm going to go back to the chats on my my phone real quick, and then we'll see. I'll try to. Oh, shut up, Ronald. Sorry, guys. We're not the most professional live stream out there, but at least we can be entertaining sometimes. So, okay, yeah, Bernie, I wanted to get back to these. So, and Shamala said, sorry, I heard wrong. Bernie said, oh, the stories from Dan, Cicero, RJ, Joey, Christian, and others. Yep, talking about wrestling. Yep, wrestling road trips. Exactly, man. That's the thing. Southern Maryland was near 50 degrees this morning. Yeah, that's ridiculous. 50 degrees. We got snow all over the place up here. Yep, we're still good on Facebook. Thank you guys for letting us know. He said Ralph was lucky he fell asleep. With you, some of the boys would have a field day with sleepy passengers. Well, I don't have a field day with sleepy passengers, because when I'm on the road and they're asleep, I want them to sleep, because I know in a couple of hours I'm going to want to sleep too. And I want them to make sure that they get their rest in first, so that we're able to like keep it moving, as they say, keep it rolling keep it rolling as much as possible. Because I don't like for us to stop at a rest station and we're all asleep, and everybody in the car's asleep, because then like that doesn't do anyone any good. So you get your ass to sleep. I'm not gonna fuck with you, and then when you wake up, I'm gonna go to sleep, and then you don't fuck with me, like that type of deal. But that's just kind of how me and Ralphie do. And, it depends on who you're traveling with too. Because sometimes when I travel with the other wrestlers, I don't sleep anyway. You know how I am. You know how I am on the road. So it's not like a thing for me anyway. So it's just one of those things. But anyway, going back to the road trip stories with those old school guys, and Luthez and them knocking over a deer in their car and then cleaning it out. And I don't think that they cleaned it out, but like they definitely hit the deer and then brought it back home with them, and then they cleaned it out there. They had to have been close to home. They had to have been close to somewhere for them to be able to do that, But yeah, Georgian, thank you for the peanuts. We appreciate those boiled peanuts, and I got pictures of the boiled peanuts as well. And you know what? I have some of the best fans ever. Yeah. Zebra cakes, peanuts. I've gotten fancy cakes before. I've gotten pictures. I've gotten I've had people, and I'll share some of these pictures a little bit later as well. I've gotten some of them where some of the guys have they've drawn like cartoon pictures of Joradne whooping ass and taking names and that type of stuff. So, which is always fun, But back to the point that I was trying to make earlier is like I love some of the old school. I love those old school stories, old school wrestling stories. Not even, when people say old school these days in professional wrestling, they mean like 70s and 80s, maybe 90s now. I guess 90s will be a little bit more in the old school era of things. But I like really old shit. I like the stuff from the 50s, 60s, and 50s, and sometimes coming up to the 70s. But I just got one of my new books. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to show. I have a story for this as well. So give me one sec. So I've been trying to get a Buddy Rogers book. I've been looking for a Buddy Rogers book because Buddy Rogers, if you guys aren't familiar, the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers was the original Nature Boy. And, Ric Flair took a lot of his antics and a lot of his, like the way that he moved, basically his swagger. He took Buddy Rogers' swagger and then turned it into his own, like, Ric Flair type of deal. His own Ric Flair type of Nature Boy type of thing. I've been looking, so I have the Luthaz book, I have the Bruiser Brody, I have a bunch of different I have Gorgeous George, I have a bunch of older books, but like books on older professional wrestlers and biographies and those types of things. And I've been looking for Buddy Rogers because Buddy Rogers is one of my favorites. Whenever I watch Buddy Rogers professional wrestling matches, I love that guy. I love the way that he moved. I love his psychology. I love the way that he would. I just love the way that he would. I loved his style. Mm-hmm. That's the main thing. I just love the way that he presented his craft. And I've been looking for a Buddy Rogers book, and there wasn't one. So I found one, and it was this one. And this right here, unfortunately, is not. It's like a picture book. It's like not a real novel. It's a bunch of different things, and like you read it in like 5 minutes. It's like a children's book. So I was really frustrated because it was like a very quick synopsis, however you say it, of his career, but it wasn't like a real biography. Now, just recently, from Crowbar Press, from the old, I think it's like Scott Teal who did a lot of photography, but Crowbar Press is like one of the books, and they have a bunch of old, really good professional wrestling books. And yes, Darnell, he was a great worker, but a great showman. But you got to remember, this was during that era when it was nothing but great workers, and the showmen, like they were just creating the showmen. The showmen were just like showing up. So I finally got some information on this new Nature Boy Buddy Rogers book biography that was coming out, and I saw it. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I finally got my Buddy Rogers book. And it just so goes to happen that it was just released last week, and it's called Master of the Ring. And I haven't read the book yet. I literally got it today. I was going to do an unboxing of it because I was so excited, because I was like, finally, after 7 years. I've been looking for a damn Buddy Rogers book for 7 damn years. And there just wasn't one until now. So Tim Hornbacker from Crowbar Press, I am so happy for this because I am going to read this. I'm going to give a review. I'll do my own little review of the book for YouTube. And I haven't done that. Maybe I'll start like reviewing wrestling books.
You had enough to.
Yeah, I could do like 15 books like just straight off the bat because I remember most of them. But this one I'm most excited about because I've been looking for it, and it's one of my favorite wrestlers. And I love watching that old school stuff, man. I love watching that old school stuff. It was way more basic when it comes to in-ring psychology and that type of stuff, but it's more realistic and believable than what you see today. Mm-hmm. Today it looks like too much choreography, and I'm sorry, but I just don't like it. But so if you guys are into old school wrestling, no, it's not on Amazon. You have to go to Crowbar Press for it. It's definitely not on Amazon. You're not going to this isn't for like a large audience. There isn't going to be a lot of people who want this type of stuff. You have to be a nerd of the nerds of professional wrestling nerds to be able to be into this type of stuff, because this type of stuff right here is you just don't get it. And Crowbar Press, if you go to Crowbar Press, there's so many really, really good books that I can't explain how really good they are, because it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites, and they have so much good information. And if you guys listen to Jim Cornette talks about a lot of the books that they have there from Crowbar Press. Oh, Darnell, did you say Dr. David Schultz has a book? tandem while I'm looking.
I don't know what to say.
Oh, there it is. Yes. I didn't know we were going to go off on this much of a tangent. But yeah, Darnell. Like I told you, I wasn't fucking around when I told you I love my wrestling books. Wow. So, yeah, this one's called Don't Call Me Fake. And it's about Dr. D. David Schultz, forward by Bret Hart. But this one right here, man, like this guy again right here, he was he was brought in by, he was trained by some of those old school from the guys from this era. And who wrote this? I want to see who wrote this. I don't think Dr. David Schultz, he had to have ghostwriter for, oh yeah, John Cosper. Okay, yeah. So yeah, guys, like if you guys are, I know, like if you like The Rock and John Cena and Hulk Hogan and that type of stuff, very basic shit, you're probably not going to be into this stuff. But if you're like a real, true pro wrestling fan, these two books are definitely worth getting because they love, they have like a lot of really cool information from like how the business was back in the day. Not only how the business was back in the day, but just how the world was as well and how they would deal with things. So yeah, I'm really into this type of stuff. So yeah, so you're right. Yeah, Dr. D. David Schultz definitely has a book. I definitely recommend it. He's one of the old school. He's like the white New Jack. So like you think of how wild how wild New Jack was going crazy and stuff like that. David Schultz is like the white guy version of what New Jack is, or the redneck version, or the hillbilly version. I don't know like what you would say, but they're all wild people, man. Like professional wrestlers are just wild people as it is. But this review for this book is coming up soon. I can review this one as well. I should probably review this one as well. I'll review them all. That's a fun thing for me. I could talk about this stuff all day, but I just wanted to talk about this real quick because I love my buddy Rogers. So anyway, back to the task at hand here. So you see, I'm sorry, I talk a lot, but that's why we have a live stream or podcast,
especially about wrestling
or show.
Yeah, fell into it right there.
I jumped into the man. Once you jump into that, what's it called?
Your field.
The field, or I was going to say rabbit hole, because I jumped down the rabbit hole. Yeah. That's what I did. But if you guys want like these books, well, you can get Don't Call Me Fake probably on Amazon. I don't remember exactly where I got Don't Call Me Fake at, but you could probably get that on Amazon, I think. This one probably not. You got to get that one at Crowbar Press. So definitely go to Crowbar Press. Georgian said, "I love Bob Armstrong, Dusty Rhodes, and the Briscoes." Well, yeah. And what's beautiful about that is those are three very different types of professional wrestlers. Bob Armstrong was the big armed, I'll whoop your ass, I'm a straight up good guy type of guy. Dusty Rhodes was way more of the theatrical. But like that, you got to be fair with Dusty Rhodes though, because when he was younger, he could move, he could rock and roll, he could put together some great matches. You've seen, me and you have sat down and I had to show you because you didn't know, you weren't sure, you knew of Dusty Rhodes, but you didn't know Dusty Rhodes. No. And then once we went over some of those matches that I showed you.
I'm a fan now.
You're a fan. You have to be, man. Like once you've seen like how good Dusty Rhodes was, man, you have to be a fan, like you have to be into it. And the Briscoes, I haven't showed you any of the Briscoe brothers yet, but if you watch the Briscoe brothers, it'll be way closer to MMA grappling.
Oh, so
it's like closer to it's like MMA grappling when you watch the Briscoes. So it's really good. Oh shit, we got Amora here. Amora's here, so we got all of our people. Nice. I'm glad to have everybody here. So it's good to. How have you been, Amora? It's been a long time. I know that we've been out and we've been kind of missing for the last couple of weeks. But I finally got our software issues figured out. Not 100% because every time. For the past 2 days now, the audio hasn't been working correctly right there at the beginning. So that's going to be something that I have to figure out later, which I'm sure I will. But it's just one of those things. It's not that big of a deal. So I recommend. I do not recommend this Buddy Rogers book. If you see it, don't get it. I do recommend this Buddy Rogers book. That's my dude. Love that guy. Even though I never met him, I love that persona, man. And Don't Call Me Fake. He's known for, what did he do? What was that guy's name? He slapped that journalist. There was a journalist.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But he was a journalist, and he was like, yeah, I think it's fake. And he was like, oh, yeah? Is it fake? Bam! Slapped the shit out of him. How fake is that, boy? And, yeah, I love those types of guys. Don't think that, those guys don't exist, because they still do, even though, everybody knows that it's a work. But, even Vince McMahon goes on TV talking about how it's a work. So it's just funny to me seeing people on Facebook be like, well, why you acting like it's not a work, man? Kayfabe, man, kayfabe. And it's like, you're saying kayfabe in front of everybody. You're worse than the guys who are not acting like it's kayfabe. Like you're you're bringing it out more. Dusty and Dick Murdoch. Cool. Darnell says, yeah, Dusty and Dick Murdoch. Dick Murdoch's a really good one. He has another book on Crowbar Press, and you got to check that one out. Original plan for WrestleMania 1, Bernie says, was Piper versus Schultz teaming up against Hogan and T. Yeah, but David Schultz, Vince McMahon couldn't get along with David Schultz because David Schultz was a little bit of a wild man. So, that had definitely had to be changed, even though David Schultz probably would have been better than Roddy, even though I like Roddy. But, Piper and Schultz teaming up? Oh, yeah. But then again, it probably wouldn't have been that good because you had old Mohawk guy. Mohawk guy was a big draw at the time, apparently. Amora said, yeah, it's only been forever. I know. That's my fault. It's definitely been forever. We've been working. I've been trying to get this software figured out, and I haven't got it figured out perfectly yet, but we're getting there. Amora said, I missed you guys, but I'm happy that you are all keeping busy and taking these new opportunities. Absolutely. That's what it's about. We got to keep it moving. We have to keep it moving. We have to keep going out there and reaching for those opportunities. Rick said John Stossel. It was John Stossel. That was the guy who Dr. D slapped. He slapped the shit out of that guy. And then Darnell said the Briscoes were amateurs from Oklahoma State. And that's why I was telling you it would be closer to like MMA type professional wrestling than, Hulk Hogan type professional wrestling. Different styles.
less
bumps, more technical wrestling. But it depends on who's watching it, whether it's more exciting or not.
Right.
That's the thing. That comes up to like more about like what your favorite flavor is than it is anything else. Bernie said Schultz screwed it up by going into business for himself, going after T at a house show in L.A., and they pulled it from him and replaced him with Orndorff. Yeah, that makes sense. That's the problem, though. Schultz was a little bit of a wild card. You really couldn't predict what exactly Schultz was going to do. So, could you trust him to be in the main event? Probably, but it's a less of a guarantee than Piper or Orndorff or whoever else you had in there. But I guess Piper was Piper was teaming with Orndorff, and then Hogan was with Mr. T. So it was Mr. T. So and then before we switch over, now that I got finished talking about my new book that I got, because I'm so excited. I'm so excited for my new book. So a lot of us wrestlers are nerds, and we love we can't get enough of our wrestling stuff. Ryan said, ladies and gents, Paul is now known as the Masked Wrestler. I guess that was from my post that I posted a couple days, from this past weekend from the match, which was definitely a really good match. I thought that we did good, barring the with the circumstances, because all the different matches that you got to deal with and stuff like that. So it's just one of those things. All right, so we ready to rock and roll with our next story?
Yeah.
So the reason why we started the stream earlier and we didn't quite we didn't start it exactly because I thought that Ralph was asleep. And then I was going to do a live stream on my own. I wasn't going to do it about the road trip stories. I was going to save the road trip stories for whenever you were available. And then I was just going to do some stories about snow, because we just had like a hell of a lot of snow out there, even though it snowed half the day. And then the other half, it's sleet and it's like rain, and it's like just nasty. It's just nasty.
Yep.
I was just going to talk about that. I was going to try to get people to talk about like what their first experience was with snow and sleet and that type of stuff. But I think it's way more interesting for us to be able to have our show that we planned. So so we're going to go on to the road trip. And the road trip, we started off. What time did we leave? We left like Friday, right?
Friday afternoon, yeah.
Yeah, it was like Friday afternoon, and we had a while to get there. So I had a show in Alabama and Georgia, but the show in Alabama canceled because the state of Alabama was having a bunch of issues with the COVID thing, and it turned out that there was a lot of things that were going on in that town that were allowed to go on, but the wrestling match wasn't allowed to go on. But a lot of these things had people not social distancing, and it had a lot of people going against all of the laws or all of the recommendations.
Yeah.
But the match was canceled. But these other activities, I don't even know what the activities were. I talked to the promoter, and the promoter told me that they're allowed to have this type of dance party going on and this type of this and that, blah blah blah, but we can't have our match because COVID. So it's like, what's the fine line that stops you from being able to have a wrestling match whenever everybody's socially distanced? Because I've done matches up in the north, and I've done matches up in the south, down in the south. And the matches up in the north, they literally have every single fan socially distanced. And it's like 25% capacity. You're not getting a lot of people in there. You're not getting a lot of everything. The more south you get, it seems, the more lax they are with those types of regulations. But Alabama wasn't about that. They weren't having it. So I don't know what in the world was going on with Alabama, but Alabama seems like they can't even figure out whether they want to let you wrestle or they don't want to let you wrestle. They're not sure exactly what's going on. So the Alabama show was canceled, and you and I were talking, and we were like, you know what? The show in Georgia's on a Sunday afternoon. If we just go on and leave like we were planning on, we wanted to do a road trip anyway, so we have fun on our road trips. And I didn't get enough footage for us to be able to post them on here, so we'll be able to get those later. But for now, going down, we started that Friday, and then I drove all night, getting us all the way down to North Carolina. I got us down to North Carolina, and everywhere you went, everybody, had to have a mask on. And then once you get to North Carolina, there's some places in North Carolina that you don't have to have a mask, some places that you do. Mm-hmm. This one place that we got there at like 2 o'clock, it was like 1:30 actually. It was almost 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. And it was 1:30, and we go in there, and I didn't think that it was much. I didn't think that it was that big of a deal. I thought that there wasn't many people on the road that you normally see, but I kind of expected that because of COVID. Mm-hmm. I've done a little bit of driving during the COVID time. I do a lot of driving. What am I going to do? I'm not going to fucking stop working, Yeah. So, but there was a lot of There was a lot of people driving. There was a lot of people traveling and everything. So we were trying to get some gas, and I went in and got some gas. And then as I was filling it up, you were talking to the guy in the gas station. What did the guy at the gas station tell you?
Well, he stopped me in my tracks as I was picking some stuff up.
What were you picking up?
Just a couple drinks.
Like some food and stuff? Yeah, like snacks and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what would he say?
He said they're checking plates and pulling people over. And
he just stopped you while you were just looking at stuff, and he was like, hey,
hey.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And that made sense, though, because I did see a lot of people pulled over.
Yep.
And I did have there was a sheriff that was behind me, and then they passed us. So that, like, when you told me that they had a curfew, and they were about to start pulling people over, which is crazy that they're going to start pulling people over and tell them to go home at nighttime because you don't want to get COVID. But you have more of a risk of getting COVID by being pulled over and having somebody talk to you. Mm-hmm. You have way more of a risk of catching COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Than, going about your own business with wherever you were going. But, needless to say, COVID, we all know COVID gets worse past 10 p.m. That's the rules here. Past 10 p.m., stay inside because COVID's out there and it's going to get you. It's scary, you know. So it gets a lot worse at nighttime. I'm being sarcastic, guys. I'm being very sarcastic if you guys can't catch on. So we're like, okay, cool. They've got these damn curfews, so we got to get out of there. Y'all have a curfew too, Lori? What is y'all's curfew? What time is y'all's curfew for you? And what are they going to do? Are they going to put you in jail and put you in jail with everybody else who has corona and make sure that you for real get corona? How does that work? Curfew in Virginia is midnight to 5 a.m. Yeah, that makes sense because, you know, COVID gets really, really bad. Past 10 p.m. it gets bad, but it ges worse at 12 p.m. Darnell, you're in Florida, though. Y'all ain't worried about nothing. Y'all don't care about nothing. You know? They don't care about nothing there. That's hilarious. 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Yeah, that's the 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. is
North Carolina.
Yeah, that's North Carolina. That's a lot of places. That's a lot of places that have the 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. That was the joke. I mean, Jimmy and I were talking about that right before we stopped doing like the consistent episodes. Was talking about how like it's like 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Does that mean COVID's worse at 10 p.m.? Because there's way less people who are going to be out during that time anyway.
Right.
So you're less likely to interact with people anyway. So like, wouldn't you want a curfew? Like 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. and say, hey, you guys got to stay inside during the day because that's when everybody's out and about and that's when people are doing anything. When most people are at bed, that's when the curfew is. But I guess the curfew is not really going to hurt anybody. It's just it seems like it's more of a motivator for people to stay inside than it is an actual curfew. Because it's not like they're actually, I guess maybe they're locking people up, but they're not really locking people up. They're just kind of telling them to go home. I think that's more so what it was. Maybe the cashier was thinking that they're locking people up, but they're probably just like pulling people over that have a local tag and are like, hey, man, what are you doing? Get out of here. You know COVID's going to get you. You got to get home. So people will go home, you know, that type of deal. So, you're in Alabama? Y'all don't have a curfew in Alabama? Man, Alabama don't make any sense. Darnell, it does not make any sense. It's ridiculous. But yeah, but you know, dealing with the snow is always a fun thing. Driving, yeah, I drove a lot. I like to drive because whenever I'm sitting in the car, I don't like waiting. I don't like sitting around waiting for my turn to drive. Just let me drive, man. Give me something to do. What am I going to do? I can't sleep. Yeah, that's the main thing. If I could sleep, I'd rather sleep, obviously. But I can't sleep I cannot sleep in cars, man. Like, I'll get a couple hours, but it's not real sleep and it's not real rest, you know? So it's like, what are you going to do? It's like, it's just one of those things. So we made our way all the way down there. And then we got to be able to see a little bit of our family. So we got to see the babies. We got to see the 9-month-old. And then I don't want to, because I don't remember everybody's age, so I can't say everybody's age. But we saw all the kids from our family. And then we got to go over and see our mom, who got us the Hungry Howie's. And I think that I saw her comment Hungry Howie's earlier. She did mention, our mom was in here on the chat, Ralph, earlier. But I don't know where she went. So, yeah, and Darnell said, yeah, Montgomery, Alabama, and yes, Alabama's a Republican state. But I don't know what that means, though. Does that mean that they have lockdowns? Because I don't know. Because our show was canceled in Alabama. So, like, I don't know what the hell is up with Alabama. They're acting more like a Democrat state than a Republican state. Because I would think that a Republican state would say you could be open like Florida. But Florida, I guess, isn't really a Republican state either. I don't know what's going on. It's hard. Like, who knows what anything is anymore. Yeah, I definitely know Alabama's a Republican state, but what's their deal, man? What's their deal? What's everybody's deal? You know, is everybody going to get COVID and everybody going to die? Speaking of COVID.
0.1%.
You know, yeah, exactly. You know, and it has a okay survival rate.
Yep.
But he said nothing makes sense. That's true, Darnell. You nailed that. Nothing makes sense, and you can't look for it to make sense because if you want it to make sense, it's not going to make. Nothing's going to ever make sense. So it's just one of those things, we got to roll with the punches. We got to deal with what we got to deal with, and we can't really be mad about anything. We just got to kind of do it. There's nothing else that we can do. Like, we just got to do what we got to do. We can't. I got a comment on one of my YouTube videos where they were saying that. We just I don't know. It's just ridiculous, What did Bernie say? Bernie said, thought Georgia was too, but I'll stop there. Keep this on a good vibe. Yeah, keep it on a good vibe, brother. Keep it on a good vibe. Yeah, but it's just yeah, but it's all the COVID stuff, and we all want to deal with everything that we got to deal with until we can finally get back to normal, because that's what we all want to do, and we all want to get back to normal. And none of us want to deal with this any longer than we do. So wear your masks, social distance, all that other good stuff that everybody says you're supposed to do, even though it's still spiking and we're doing lockdowns, and it doesn't look like the lockdowns are helping. But what are you gonna do?
You could move to Florida.
You could move to Florida, and then what are you going to – and then you're just going to – yeah, I don't know what Florida's numbers are. So we got to look at Florida's numbers and see what's going on down there, because they might have it figured out. You know how crazy Florida is, though. We grew up in Florida. There's nothing but wild people, nothing but cowboys down there, everybody's crazy. But it's fun. So we made it to the show the next day. It was about in the afternoon, and we were all tired. I tried to sleep that night. I couldn't really sleep. You tried to sleep, but Brian kept you up. Every time you tried to fall asleep, he'd be like, "Adam, wake up! I just want you awake. I don't want you to sleep." But so we did the show. We went to the show, and you guys know that the last time that I was down there, I wrestled Sal Renaro. Sal Renaro spit water on my face during the pandemic. I got really mad. Yeah, exactly. I got really mad. I got frustrated. So this time they wanted me to wrestle Sal again, even though I beat him the first time. Now this time they wanted me to wrestle him, and I told them that I'm not going to wrestle him unless we have masks. So I came out with my mask, and Sal didn't have his mask on. And then I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to wrestle you. You need to put that damn mask on, or we're not going to take any chances. I'm not going to take any chances. And so he finally put the mask on, and we started wrestling. And he kept playing this stupid game where I would have my mask on, and we'd start to wrestle, and then he'd pull his mask off, or he'd pull my mask off. And, he'd be endangering our lives. And I don't appreciate people endangering our lives whenever a pandemic is as serious as this is. Mm-hmm. This is a serious time. This is a serious moment. And you should not ever take it lightly. You should not ever pull somebody's mask down. You don't mess with people's masks. You don't mess with, you don't do that. That's just ignorant. That's disgusting. And I think that I tried to teach him a lesson, and I got a little carried away trying to teach him a lesson. So I got distracted, and I didn't win this one. And I know, guys, it's hard for me to admit that I didn't win a match. And since it doesn't seem like there's any video evidence of it, who knows if I'm telling a lie now or not? Who knows if there's video evidence? Maybe somebody has video evidence, but I haven't seen it. So, and I didn't see a cameraman down there I didn't see a cameraman down there. Maybe there was. I didn't see one, though. So I'm just going to say, maybe I won. Maybe I won. But I whooped his ass because he was disrespectful with the mask thing. And you guys have seen the pictures. I did not want to be a masked wrestler growing up. That wasn't my thing, even though Rey Mysterio obviously is one of our favorite wrestlers growing up. I don't know many people who didn't love Rey Mysterio at a certain point. You had a point in your childhood where you just love Rey Mysterio. Mm-hmm. 'Cause Rey Mysterio is he's amazing. But good match, great match. Very disgusting, very disrespectful. I still don't like the guy. I still don't we're 1-1. If you Oh my God, Laura, what did you say? Laura said, you spelled your name wrong in the title. Just got here. Not sure if anyone let you know. What are you talking about? I didn't misspell my own name. Stories from the road. Joradne. Why are you laughing? And nobody noticed. Thank you, Laura, for actually telling me. Jeez, you guys are just going to let me look like a dum-dum who don't even know how to spell his own name. Jeez Louise. All right, but anyway. That's pretty good. I didn't notice. I had no idea. Thank you for letting me know. So it was a good match, though. It was a fun match. Everything that we needed to do, we got. When we got down there, though, right before the match, we drove all the way down there, and we were going to get a hotel, and we were going to stay at our brother's house, and we were going to, we got a lot of family down there anyway, so we always have a place to stay. But we just had a couple of hours. So, I own a house down there, and, I own it. A bunch of us have put a lot of money into it and a lot of time and effort into it. So we all it's kind of like a family house, but it's not like being taken care of. Like right now, like nobody lives in it. So it's kind of like deteriorating, but it's our childhood home. Mm-hmm. So we want to try to hang on to it as much as we can. So we went down there to that house. So to check on it, but to also sleep in the driveway. So when we got down there, I drove 15 hours straight. Just rolling. Ralph he drove like the last hour, maybe something like that. Trying to put you over. I got to give you some kind of credit,
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. So we get down there and I'm like, okay, let's not bother anybody because it was like what 7 or 8. It was really early, and we didn't tell anybody that we were coming. Nobody knew that we were coming. It was more of like a surprise type of thing, and we were like, okay, so we're just gonna go there. I can sleep in my car. I can lay it down. If it's laid down and the car's not moving, I can sleep. So I get in there. First thing, I'm gone until I hear, "Hey man,
hey man,
hey buddy, hey buddy," and I'm like, whoa, what's up, whoa, and I I'm like half asleep and I'm like trying to open my eyes and I'm looking like, huh? What's wrong? He was like, hey, you all right, man? You need anywhere to go? And then like I sat up, and then he saw who I was, and it was like, oh, hey, Ronnie, it's good to see you, man. I haven't seen you in forever. How are you, man? How you doing? And I was like, have you seen Adam? Do you Adam's around here? I don't know where Adam is, but. And he was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about, man, but it's good to see you, man. And I was so out of it because all that driving and then that I was in a very deep sleep. Yeah. I was in a very deep sleep. And I didn't know that you texted me that you were like, where did you go?
I went to see the property.
Brian's property. So you went to see our brother's property with him, right? Mm-hmm. So he came and got you. And where did he pick you up at?
At the lake. Right,
so you went to the lake, and then he met you at the lake. Mm-hmm. So the lake is like a 5-minute, 10-minute walk from where the house is that we have, and so we have neighbors there. But we grew up around those neighbors, so the neighbors know who we are and stuff. So he woke me up, and I was like, "Whoa, where's my brother? Where's my brother?" And he was like, "I don't know, man. But let me tell you about my motorcycle barn."
Yeah.
It was like he wanted to come over and see like who this random person was sitting in the neighbor's yard. But then like he was like, once he realized who it was, he was like, "Oh man, let me tell you about all the stuff that I'm doing. Yeah. Let me tell you about the motorcycle things that I have back there, the motorcycle shop that he has in the back, and like in Defuniak, he has one of the most popular spots to go during Christmas because he used to work for the electric company and he would use the electric company's buckets. What are those buckets? Those cranes? boom lifts, yeah, to go up, and he would put it up very, very high into the trees, and everybody would always come down. It was like always an event for them to be able to come down and check out the lights that were going on down there. So it was really badass. It was like a really it's always badass though. We should have went back, dude. I forgot about it, but we should have went back there at nighttime just to look at the lights, just like for old time's sake. I didn't even think about it. We should have did that while we were down there, but I was half dead as it was, and it's just kind of part of the game. So I got woke up by him, and there was another neighbor. There's like a new neighbor who's probably been there for like 5 years. So she's like, "Who are you? I ain't never seen you in my life." And I'm like, "Bitch, I was here 15 years ago. You don't know me. I don't know you.
First.
I don't know you. I was here first. I haven't been here in a long time, but So I finally woke up, and I had like all those cobwebs, and that was the day. Luckily, I didn't have to wrestle that day. We got down there an extra day early, so I got to rest a little bit before the match with Sal on Sunday. So we got to be able to see our family. We got to go see our mom. We got to get that Hungry Howie's pizza in, because the Hungry Howie's pizza is
number one.
You can't beat the Hungry Howie's pizza. You can't beat the Hungry Howie's pizza. The Hungry Howie's pizza it's just one of those local pizza spots that are down south that you don't get. And now I'm kind of rounding over into this conversation that we were having last night, because I know that the guys, and let me go back to the comments real quick, because it's been a little bit since we've been there. So Lori said, "I didn't see it." Oh yeah, Lori didn't see it. Nobody noticed it. Yeah, see, I didn't notice it either. Bernie said, "You had a bigger fish to fry getting the stream going in the right direction. A misspelling of the gimmick is allowed only tonight only." Exactly, Bernie. The bigger fish to fry is getting these streams out properly with good sound, where everybody can hear, where everybody knows what's going on, and it's all good. And, like I said, these streams are going to be Monday through Friday. We're going to figure out the specific time to get them going in. Today I had to work a little bit later than I wanted to. The snow kind of messed it up as well. The snow kind of made me there was a certain point when it was a bad idea just to drive anywhere. So I didn't want to chance any of that, because I've taken those chances before.
Right. Yeah.
I've taken those chances before, and I've totaled a couple vehicles, not just one. I've totaled a couple vehicles, just for funsies, because I like to. I'm not good at sitting around and not doing anything
productive.
Yeah, I got to do something. You got to be productive. You got to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like something's wrong with me if I'm not out doing it, if I'm not out trying to move around and roll. So, yeah. And Laura said, "Don't promise us what you can't give us." Hey, did I say I promise? I didn't say I promise yet, but I can. We'll see, we'll see. The main thing is figuring out the time. And the time might not be the exact same time every day, but you can always catch the replay, even though I know commenting is always fun. Commenting to the live shows are always fun.
Yeah, they're the best.
I've got a lot of different stories that I'm going to be covering. We got Boy Cat stories. We've got the Went for a Walk, Got Lost episodes that I've been talking about that I haven't edited yet, but we need to do. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of stuff. We have the ghost hunting stuff that we're going to be doing, and I haven't figured out if we're going to be doing that with Jimmy, Bob, and Rick yet, or if it's just going to be a Joradne and Ralph scenario. Joradne and Ralph scenario definitely gets done, because we were doing Went for a Walk, Got Lost big time, and then I tried to make sure that I could get everybody going, but then figuring out everybody's schedules, and then COVID, and then all that stuff just makes it so ridiculous to try to make it work with everybody. But everybody's, everybody has schedules. Everybody has different lives that they're trying to live. And, we make it work. We're going to make it work as well as we can. Rick's going to be back for Spitting Game Radio on Tuesday. And we'll see what other episodes we can be having. But I know other than the Joradne streams that are going to be going on here at my YouTube and my Facebook, and I think it's going on Twitch. I didn't double check and see if Twitch was actually working, which now that it crossed my mind, I'll double check Twitch and see if it's working. Now I got to sign in, so I'm not going to do all that. But yeah, back to the comments real quick. Laura said, snow is here my way. We're supposed to get a foot. We got about a foot, didn't we? We're supposed to get 18 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's 18 inches of precipitation. It wasn't 18 inches of snow. We got like 4 or 5 inches of snow for about half the day today, and then the other half of the day has been sleet and rain. So it's kind of we got lucky with that. So it's just going to be wet and nasty, but it's not going to be snowy for a while, and we're not going to be dealing with all that snow melting. And Shamala said, agreed. You need to keep moving around, but it doesn't mean you need to total a couple of cars. Well,
she's right.
Well, sometimes I like to total my cars.
I don't like this one.
I'm like, fuck this car. Honestly, now you know, because I told you before I even wrecked it, I was rooting for myself. I was rooting for myself to wreck that last one. I was like, you know what? Fuck this car. I'm done with this car. I'm done with it. I'm completely done with it. I don't want to have it anymore. Done with it. And then I wrecked it, and then I was done with it. I was done with it. But you know what? It sucks though, because I was telling myself that, and I was motivated, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to be in this car. I'm gonna pay it off. I'm gonna get out of it, and we'll be good. Oh man, if I wrecked, that would be great. Like being a smartass. Mm-hmm. And then I actually wreck. But then when you actually wreck, like that's not good news. That's never a good thing that happens. So it was like, it wrecked, and I was like, yeah, I wanted this. But you don't really want that, because then now you have to deal with all this crap that comes in with that. And it was just a mess. So it wasn't fun. So yeah, I agree, Shamala. I need to not total my cars, but sometimes I like to do what I like to do. It is what it is at that point, But yeah, so we got back on the road. We drove all the way back. And here's the thing. I haven't been watching football that much recently. And while you were in Sleepy Town, you did stay awake during the day. But then when it got dark, then you fell asleep. Like, obviously, like your what is it called? The circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm kicked in and was like, nope, bedtime. like once it's dark, nope, I got to go to sleep. So you went to sleep, and I was driving, and I listened to the Ravens game. And man, that was a crazy. I wish I could have watched it, but what a crazy game that Ravens game was. Just a lot of back and forth stuff. I don't remember exactly everything now. I'm not that big of a fan, but I was so, at a certain point when you don't care about anything and you're so not entertained by anything. I just needed something. By the end of that 30 hours in the car, I just needed something, and that was something that was live, and it was exciting, and I was like, okay, cool, I can get into this. All right, let's go Ravens. Even though I don't really give a shit, they can lose or win. I don't really care, but that's something that I can get into, And so I got into it, and then they won, and it was. I wish I would have watched the match. See, I've got wrestling on the brain. I wish I would have watched that game though, because it was a really good game, and you were just asleep, and I was sitting there cheering and yelling, and you were just.
I didn't even know you was watching.
I know, exactly. You didn't hear anything. It was so wild though, because I was like, man, I can't believe he's such a deep sleeper. He's so asleep, he don't even notice anything. Man, that's crazy. Do you remember? So before we jump off, because I know that our time limit is an hour. If we go more than that, that's good. But I'm trying to have a new strategy, because if we are going to be going as often as the plan is, I don't want to like linger on to the episodes for too long. So our goal from now on is to be going for an hour. If we're doing Spitting Venom Radio, that'll go 2.5 hours. That's the normal thing for Spitting Venom Radio. For the Joradne streams, we're going to keep it to an hour. Sometimes it's going to be more. Sometimes it's going to be less. It depends on what we have going on, what we're going to be talking about, and that type of stuff. This one was more of an update about our road trip that we just had, and we're going to be rolling on with more. Tomorrow, I'll probably do a stream with myself. Ralph may be around if Ralph's working. Do you have work tomorrow? No work tomorrow. So maybe I'll do a stream with you. Maybe I'll edit a little bit of. So maybe we can do the. I'll see. We'll probably do flag ponds with the shark teeth.
Oh, that's a nice one.
That's a good one. And there were some stories that that I thought that I had to cut, but now I don't think that I have to cut because.
Oh yeah.
Because the stories were pertaining to certain people but I think that I can cut out the names because I never mention names anyway.
Yeah,
but I can cut out like the specifics of so that nobody like will know exactly who it was that we were talking about in the stories. But the stories were so good, I think that we definitely need to share those stories because they're really like provocative in a sense of it makes you think.
Oh yeah.
It makes you it just makes you think about yourself and how you handle things as opposed to how other people handle things. And it's like a good old school went for a walk, got lost type of episode. And we'll do it live and it'll be good.
Tomorrow?
So I don't want to put that pressure on myself to say it's going to be tomorrow. We might just have to turn it on tomorrow and rock and roll with a normal episode talking about Boy Cat. Because I do have some Boy Cat stories that we have to share. If I have time to be able to sit down and edit some of that episode. The main thing is I just want to take my time editing that one though, because that's got some good stuff. It's a lot of good stuff in there. And Flag Ponds Park, if you guys get an opportunity in Eastern Maryland, I think it's Eastern Maryland to go, you guys should definitely go. Because a lot of our episodes we've done out in Western Maryland. But this one was the first time we went to Eastern Maryland, and there was a lot of good footage on there. But that's why I want to take my time with that one. So we'll see what tomorrow's episode is. But tomorrow's going to be a good bit earlier than this one. I needed to work, so you got to do what you got to do sometimes. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go back to the chats real quick before we jump off of here. And Laura said the snow is on my way. We're supposed to get a foot. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Laura said, how are Seether and Awkward? Seether and Awkward are doing great. Awkward is now really, he's phenomenal at going for the walks. And I'll do some more updates on the Instagram for that one because Awkward's great. He listens to you and everything. Seether's the psycho. He's controlled by his nose, so he doesn't know what he's doing half the time. Bernie said last time he tried Boy Cat Stories, it was an epic 2-hour food palooza. Exactly. That was the thing. It was supposed to be Boy Cat Stories, and we talked about food, which I'm not mad about. If that's the beautiful thing about these live streams is we can go whatever way we want. We have a game plan because we don't want it to be just some boring show that we're doing. But if we go that route, we'll definitely go that route. So that's just one of the things, and it's definitely. It might turn into another 2-hour food palooza. Who knows? But this was
good.
Food's always good. You can't be. I'm not angry about food. I'm always down to talk about food. So anyway, you got anything else you want to talk about before we hop off of here, Ralph?
7-Eleven pizza is good.
Yes, but how good is it?
It's the best gas station food.
I don't think it's the best gas station food. Have you ever had Flying J?
I've had Flying J.
You think that 7-Eleven pizza is better than Flying J?
Cook it a little bit longer. It's perfect.
That's so offensive. I'm so offended by you. You make me sad, and you make me want to cry. I'm crying to myself right now on the inside because of you. I thought that, I thought we were closer than that, I thought that.
How could you say that it's not as good as 7-Eleven?
Because 7-Eleven pizza is like cardboard with sauce and cheese on it.
Wow.
Yeah. That's why I'm surprised that you even like it. But, you can't win them all. Laura said 7-Eleven pizza is very good. Not better than Flying. No! Why are y'all saying 7-Eleven pizza is good? It's not good. I eat it. I'll eat it. But it's not good pizza. I'll eat it. I mean, I like it. But it's not good. Especially, no. Flying J, Hunt Brothers. What other pizza? Sheets. Sheets pizza. Sheets pizza is not even that good. But it's better than 7-Eleven. At least it's cooked fresh. Instead of just sitting there on having a hot light bulb pushed down on it, Jeez Louise, Ralph. I thought we were on the same page with that, man. But you know what? this has been a fun episode. This has been a good episode. You know, you didn't have a good one. Adam, did you try to give him one slice? No, I've had them. I like 7-Eleven pizza. I just don't think that it's up to the standards of Flying J pizza or the Hunt Brothers pizza. Well, Hunt Brothers pizza is not really good unless you have it fresh. So we had it fresh, and you know how good that stuff was. That was from the Instagram post. So you know how good that was. That's just what it was. So anyway, guys, thank you all for joining us. We will be back tomorrow. Not necessarily sure what the plan's going to be for what we're going to be talking about tomorrow, but we have to have this habit going on because we have the 10 times rule by Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone says that you have to be doing 10 times what you're supposed to be doing. So we're going to be doing what we're supposed to be doing, right?
10 times.
10 times. 10 times the amount. So thank you, guys. Make sure that y'all go to Joradne.shop if you want any of the Joradne merchandise. I've been thinking that I think I want to get some Boycat merchandise made. Some Boycat merchandise would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
Pretty cool stuff. So if you guys have any ideas on some Boycat merchandise, let us know. But anyway, guys, I love you guys. Ralph love you guys. Appreciate you guys hanging out, having a little bit of fun with us. We just got updated with everything, and we will see you guys tomorrow.